Everything in this whole series that I'm going to show you is how I do it. There are many different ways, there are many different tutorials, there are loads of different things you can do to do basically the same things. You get a crochet hook, size 5, H hook, very standard. You get a skein of yarn. This is yarn that I had lying around that I'm not doing anything with. It's very old. It is a worsted weight or size 4, or it's also called a medium weight yarn. It does tell you, it does recommend to use a 5.5 millimeter hook, but it's up to you and it depends on what you're doing. The most basic advice for anyone, though, if you want to learn to crochet, is get yarn that you like the look of. Try to keep it a worsted weight yarn until you get used to things, and don't go for a cotton because cotton tends to be stiff. And as you're learning, you're going to want something that's acrylic and a little more stretchy and flexible. And go for a 5 or a 5.5 hook. Now, the reason being because your tension at the beginning will be not great. My tension is still tight. And the thing is, even after years of crocheting, you might still have tight tension. Because tension not only depends on you, it depends on what kind of stitches you're doing, how you hold your crochet hook. Some people hold it this way, like a pen.
I have a pen.
Some people hold it this way, like a knife.
No!
Depends on how you wrap your yarn around your fingers. And tension can change. Even if you make the same thing one time, it might not turn out the same the next time you make it. I'm going to show you what works for me. If it's not what works for you, go find another video. If you want to do it a different way, do it a different way. Nobody's going to be mad. Nobody's going to say, hey, don't do that. It has to work for you. But we're going to start here. So the chain stitch is the most basic of basic stitches. You use this for a few stitches or like doing different lace type of decorations, but you also use it as a base for a lot of things. It's what you crochet into initially. So what you need to do is do a slip knot. I have a tail. You want to leave a little bit here at the end so you know where the start was. You're going to weave that in later with whatever project you're doing, or you might not, depending on if it's visible, and whether or not you want to. I just go and make a circle like this, and then I come under, so it's almost like a pretzel, and I pull this one up slightly. I stick my crochet hook under it, and I pull it shut. Take both sides here, and I pull that shut. If I lay it out in my hand, I'm going to take this section and I'm going to cross it over that way. So it looks like a ribbon shape here. Then this length of yarn, put it underneath the circle so that this now looks like a pretzel. I'm going to hold my thumb here just so that I don't unravel it. I'm going to take the hook, I'm going to go underneath, and I'm going to try to pull up slightly. And then I'm going to take the tail end and the working end, and I'm going to pull those. I'm not going to pull on my hook. I'm going to pull these two down to make a loop. And then to tighten that up, I'm going to grab them both, but put like my fingers between so that I can split them open. Just like that. And like done. Or they're like really dark, or they're really blurry, or the hands are way up here and you can't actually see anything. So let's go over this again. You have a length of yarn. You make a ribbon. Ribbon. You make a pretzel. It's an off-shapen pretzel, but like if you like pretzels, you're gonna eat it anyway. You stick your crochet hook through, oops, through the yarn this way or this way. It doesn't matter, but you just stick it under the part that's in the loop. So then you have this giant hanging loop here. You take the tail, which is the end, and the working yarn, which is the yarn that's still attached to the skein. You pull them both to tighten that knot. Then you have this long loop, and then you take both sides and you pull it tight, and then you have a loop. And if you would like to move past this section, go to this timestamp. Okay. Yarn. This is the tail end. This is the working end. The working end is the end that is still attached to your skein. You make a ribbon, okay? The other way. You make a wonky pretzel. You stick the hook under and you pull it shut. You take the working end and the tail end and you pull them apart so that there is what's called a slip knot on your hook. Now I don't want that long of a tail, so I'm just gonna, masterfully redo that. I'm gonna show you how I tension it. Some people use tension rings. They don't really work for me. I've seen people do it this way somehow. I don't know how. I wrap it around my pinky like this, and then I turn my hand and I wrap it around my index finger like this. That being said, this changes depending on how I'm crocheting. Sometimes I start like this and end up like with it wrapped around my middle finger and coming out this way and whatever. But for now, I'm going to wrap it around this pinky, around, under my ring and middle finger, over my index finger, turn it around, and wrap it again around my index finger. Okay? I'm going to repeat that a few more times. If you would like to move past this part, go to this timestamp. All right. Turn my hand palm side up. I put it over my pinky. I turn my hand palm side down. I go under my ring finger and middle finger, but over the top of my index finger. I turn my hand back palm side up and then bring the yarn under my index finger and then turn my hand palm side down. And then I have tension. Palm side up, yarn over the pinky, palm side down, yarn under the ring and middle finger, over the index finger, palm side up, yarn back under the index finger, palm side down. For the chain, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with my left hand, I'm going to hold the tail and hold down the rest of the yarn. Okay? It's an awkward kind of position, but I have it wrapped and I'm going to wrap my ring and pinky finger. I'm going to hold down this yarn and I'm going to use my thumb and middle finger to hold on to the tail. A couple of ways to use your hook with the crochet. There are two methods. One is you yarn under, the other is you yarn over. The difference is where you're putting the hook. I only yarn under. I have tried to yarn over because I've heard that it makes the stitches look better for like amigurumi and things, but I'm gonna be honest, I just can't get the hang of it. I can't get my hand to do the thing. I'm going to chain. So I'm going to put my crochet hook under, and then I'm going to pull it through the loop. And that's one chain. Okay, I'm going to move closer. So I put my hook here. I go under the yarn, under the yarn, and I pull it through the chain. And again, I go under and I pull it through the chain. So far, I have, if it wants to focus, 3 chains. All right, that's one chain here, one chain here, and one chain here. You can also tell by the bumps on the back. See, this has a bump here. There's a bump here, this middle one that's kind of cream colored, and then this one that's slightly hidden. That is also a bump. And that is another way you can count the chains. See how it makes like a V here? There's the right side of the V and the left side of the V, right side of the V, left side of the V, etc. Right, left. All right. And you're going to be doing that endlessly. You go under, pull it around, and pull through. From left to right. Left, under, turn it around, pull through. Crochet hook to the left, under to the right, turn the hook around so that the yarn catches, and pull through. Left, under, around, pull through. Left, under, around, pull through. And basically, I want you to repeat that until you get however many chains you want to do. And eventually, you have a bunch of chains. What do you do with that? Well, actually, you could do a lot of things with this, but that's not the point. The point is that'll be in my next video. So I hope that was helpful. If not, please let me know below. If it was, please let me know below. If you just want to say hi, please let me know in the comments. Like the video if you'd like me to do more tutorials. Am I going to do more tutorials even if you don't like the video? Probably. But Will I know that people like the tutorial and that I'm doing a good job? Absolutely. Do I need that? Yes. Yes, I do. Please tell me I'm doing a good job, but only if you think I'm doing a good job. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.